morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and thank you for joining us for this annual Public Safety Recognition Ceremony for 2020. My name is Public Safety Lieutenant Kari Ray, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. Before we begin, please silence all cell phones during the ceremony. It is now my pleasure to welcome our official party for today's ceremony. Mayor Robert Green, Administrator Ronald Gaines, Public Safety Director Jeff Olson, Police Chief Craig Birdie, and Fire Chief John Bostwick. I would also like to thank and recognize Mindy Benson, the new Emergency Management Coordinator who joined us today, and then our council members, Susan DeBoer, Dave Sayers, Mark Miller, Kelly Dunn, Frank Dara, and Simon Harding. Thank you for honoring us with your presence today. Please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. I now invite Kelly Yates to come forward as we recognize her promotion to captain. Captain Yates was hired in 2002 and promoted to the rank of lieutenant in 2006. Captain Yates has served on all patrol shifts as well as investigations. She was also a field training officer and a member of the bike patrol unit. For many years, Captain Yates supervised the community service officers. She is part of the SWAT team and is the lead hostage negotiator. In her free time, she likes to work out and spend time camping with her husband and dogs. Mayor Green will now present Captain Yates with her captain rank insignia, and I invite her family to join her up front for her pinning. Please join me in congratulating Captain Kelly Yates. We also celebrate the promotion of Public Safety Officer Jonathan Gerzema to the rank of Lieutenant. Lieutenant Gerzema was hired in 2011 and has worked all 3 patrol shifts as well as a rotation in the Tri-County Drug Task Force. He is a member of the SWAT team, a firearms instructor, field training officer, and a Cellbrite technician. When he is not at work, he enjoys spending time with his family, friends, and his dog, Lincoln. Mayor Green will now present Lieutenant Gerzema with his lieutenant rank insignia, and I invite his family forward to pin his badge. Please join me in congratulating Lieutenant Gerzema. Two public safety employees will now administer the Public Safety Oath of Office and will receive their badge to signify their advancement as public safety officers. I invite forward Christy Hansen and Derek Brown.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Derek Brown.
I, Christine Hansen.
Do solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
that I will support and comply
That I will support and comply
with the Constitution of the United States of America,
with the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Iowa,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Iowa,
the Charter laws and ordinances
the Charter laws and ordinances
of the City of Cedar Falls,
of the City of Cedar Falls,
the rules and regulations of the Cedar Falls Police Department,
the rules and regulations of the Cedar Falls Police Department,
the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of my office
discharge the duties of my office
as Public Safety Officer
as Public Safety Officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Thank you. You are now sworn. Congratulations.
Family members are invited forward to assist in the presentation of their badges. Congratulations, Officers Brown and Hanson. At this time, I'd like to invite Officer Gavin Carmen forward to receive the 2020 Officer of the Year Award. This award is presented to the officer who shows exemplary service, excellence in police work, and outstanding performance over a prolonged period of time. I'm going to read part of Officer Gavin's nomination. Though 2020 was a challenging time for our officers, Officer Carmen remained diligent in his duties, productive, and demonstrated leadership as a senior officer throughout the pandemic. While businesses were shut down, Officer Carmen spent his nights on patrol checking businesses to ensure they were secure and patrolling neighborhoods. In June 2020, while dealing with the possibility of civil unrest nightly, Officer Carmen played a key role in our preparedness. As the less lethal munitions expert for our agency, Officer Carmen equipped his vehicle nightly with the less lethal tools in case he was needed in that role. The leadership that Officer Carmen displayed in 2020 was extremely helpful for his third shift supervisors. Officer Carmen exemplified what it means to be a senior officer. Officer Carmen is looked up to by his peers and is often sought by them to answer questions. Officer Carmen represents the core values of what it means to be a Cedar Falls police officer. Please join me in congratulating Officer Gavin Carmen. Next, we would like to honor the 2020 Firefighter of the Year, Austin Lechtenberg. Please come forward. This award is given to the firefighter who best exemplifies the positive characteristics of a member of the fire service and who has a notable record of service and achievements. Although not an award for heroism, this award is presented to the individual who has given selflessly of themselves in support of the department, the fire service in general, and the community. And here's part of his nomination letter. PSO Lechtenberg should be recognized as a firefighter of the year for the work he does daily at a high level. He is a self-motivator and willing to help out any way he can. There have been numerous calls I have responded to with him, and his conduct and behavior is something other PSOs should emulate. He stays calm and collected during stressful events. Officer Lechtenberg is always willing to help out with any assignment and consistently takes on additional roles. He is on the bike patrol team and the SWAT team. He is always looking to improve his knowledge, skills, and abilities with additional certifications on various trainings. In his time assigned to the fire division, he has received his Firefighter 2, Fire Instructor 1, and Driver Operator, and is currently enrolled in Fire Officer 1. He is constantly looking towards the future and always tries to better himself in our department. PSO Lechtenberg's proficiency in performing his duties is a sign of his professionalism and dedication to performing at the highest level. His work ethic and actions demonstrate the core values of public safety and are something all public safety officers should strive for. He is an asset to his shift, and the City of Cedar Falls should be honored to have him on the Cedar Falls Public Safety Department. Congratulations, Officer Lechtenberg. The next recipient we would like to recognize is Lieutenant Brooke Heer for the R.J. Voss Supervisor of the Year Award. The R.J. Voss recipient demonstrates the core values of the department, exceptional management skills, and leadership. Lieutenant Hewer is one of the Police Division's senior lieutenants and can be counted on for her knowledge in the law, policies and procedures, and how the Police Division operates. She is also willing to assist officers when they are busy, to respond to calls for service, and is a reliable source to them when they have questions. Lieutenant Hewer is the Police Division's co-reserve officer coordinator and spends a great deal of time making sure that reserve officers are staying up to date on their monthly training and ride time. Also, with the new reserve officers, she makes sure that they are getting all of their testing completed in a timely manner. Lieutenant Hewer also assisted in the Police Division's applicant testing during 2020 and in past years. This includes the physical agility and MMPI post-testing. She completes all necessary requirements and paperwork of this testing, which is sent to the state. In 2020, Lieutenant Hewer continued to serve on the board for the new CAD system being developed for the Blackhawk County. She completed these tasks without any complaints and was always professional. As one can see, Lieutenant Hewer had a very productive 2020 and deserves recognition by being named the Police Division Supervisor of the Year. It is an honor that is well deserved of her. Please join me in congratulating Lieutenant Brooke Hewer. Our 2020 Fire Supervisor of the Year is Lieutenant John Zalondek. The Fire Supervisor of the Year is awarded to the supervisor who emphasizes leadership, innovative thoughts, professional development, integrity, and service to the public and contributions to the fire service as a whole. PSO Lieutenant Zalondek is committed to his position, his shift, and to continually learning and educating our team of PSOs while moving our department forward. Lieutenant Zalondek consistently brings forward innovative ideas regarding training and staffing. He is able to see the future of this department and implement the progressive ideas. One of the best traits Lieutenant Zalondek possesses is respect from the department in both the Police Division as well as the Fire Division. Lieutenant Zalondek is very approachable, and he possesses a non-threatening demeanor for those that are new to the fire service. In 2020, he was one of the instructors for our Fire Academy. Lieutenant Zalondek is the co-reserve coordinator for our department. He puts in a significant amount of time making sure the reserves are trained properly and are keeping up on their hours. Lieutenant Zalondek clearly has the leadership abilities that motivate others to do their best and help them reach their full potential. His willingness to share his knowledge makes him stand out among his peers. For these reasons, he deserves the recognition of Fire Supervisor of the Year. Congratulations, Lieutenant Zalondek. Next, we recognize Reserve Officer Tyler Griffin as our 2020 Scott Sterrett Reserve Officer of the Year. The recipient has shown a dedication to the department and the citizens of Cedar Falls. Tyler Griffin is the 2020 Reserve Officer of the Year, and he has been part of the reserve unit since 2016 and has done an exceptional job since he started. Tyler always shows up to training prepared and conducts himself effectively throughout the topics covered. He is always ready to assist and help out in any way he can, even on short notice. The newer reserves look up to Reserve Officer Griffin for advice and support. Tyler has received numerous compliments and accolades from various supervisors on all police shifts. His knowledge, skills, and abilities show in his performance of duties and are a sign of his professionalism. His dedication to the reserve program demonstrates the core values of public safety, and all reserves should strive for it. The City of Cedar Falls is honored to have him as a reserve officer and part of the Cedar Falls Public Safety Reserve Unit. Congratulations. The next series of awards will be Awards of Excellence. Awards of Excellence are presented to those employees who perform an outstanding job accomplishment. Teamwork and commitment to service define excellence. The first Award of Excellence is presented to POC Brian Graham, who works for Public Works. Brian Graham is receiving an Award of Excellence for his actions on November 23, 2020. On that date, he was working on the streetlights at the corner of Viking and Hudson Roads. While working on the light cabinet, an accident occurred between a Met bus and a garbage truck at that intersection, nearly missing him but hitting the city truck parked off the road beside him. Brian was quickly able to determine that the garbage truck driver was not injured, but the Met bus driver was critically injured and would need to be extricated from the vehicle. Brian called 911 and was able to give a detailed report to dispatch, helping fire personnel get the appropriate resources to the scene. The Met bus had received enough damage that none of the doors were working. Brian was able to climb over the ramp that loads the wheelchairs to gain access to the driver. He began life-saving measures and holding the C-spine for the driver of the bus. Fire crews arrived and began stabilizing the bus and preparing for extrication. During this time, Brian volunteered to remain in the bus and helped with patient care. Brian remained in the bus as crews removed the door and had to pull the A-pillar back to disentangle the patient. Brian did an excellent job of maintaining C-spine, relaying changes in the patient's condition, as well as keeping the patient calm as crews cut the vehicle apart around them. Brian's actions on that day played a big part in the successful mitigation of the extrication, and he deserves to be commended for it. Congratulations, Brian Graham. Next, I would like to invite Investigator Ryan Bellis forward. Investigator Bellis was a leader and a teacher while assigned to the investigative unit and did great police work on many different cases. One case in particular involved a homicide in December of 2019. Investigator Bellis arrived on scene and immediately went to work identifying witnesses, suspects, and all vehicles associated with them. He also secured video evidence, which turned out to be critical in this investigation. Investigator Bellis was able to obtain statements early in this investigation, which led to the arrest of 3 individuals involved. Throughout the course of a year, Investigator Bellis was able to track the gun involved in the homicide as well as the cell phones of those involved. A total of 25 search warrants were executed for this case, along with countless subpoenas. 3 suspects involved in the case have been incarcerated in the Blackhawk County Jail for several months. The charge of homicide in the first degree will be filed soon, as well as additional charges of first-degree robbery. All of this was made possible by the relentless work of Investigator Bellis. Throughout the investigation, Investigator Bellis also stayed in contact with the victim's family to let them know the status of the investigation and to offer support. Congratulations, Investigator Bellis. Our next award of excellence is presented to Investigator Katie Burkhart. Please come forward. Investigator Burkhart has been a leader of this department for many years, and she has a lot of experience in many different areas of the law. One of her primary roles in the investigative unit is to investigate sex crimes. In September of 2020, our agency received third-hand information concerning ongoing sexual abuse of 2 juvenile males at the hands of their father. Investigator Burkhart quickly set up forensic interviews for the children at the Child Protection Center. The juveniles described years of horrific abuse and the suffering which resulted. Search warrants were quickly executed and the suspect was arrested 1 day after the CPC interviews. This led to charges of second-degree sexual abuse and continuous sexual abuse of a child. The suspect is facing up to 75 years of imprisonment. Investigator Burkhart then worked with the Department of Human Services to ensure the victims were placed in a positive home with responsible adults. To further aid the victims of this crime, Investigator Burkhart obtained financial assistance from the Cedar Falls Police Protective Association and ensured the children had adequate clothing, food, and toys to keep them occupied. The family was in need of beds for the children, and Investigator Burkhart immediately attempted to purchase beds from a local retailer. After learning of the crimes against these children, the local retail store donated the beds and accessories to the family. We have become accustomed to outstanding work by Investigator Burkhart, but this case in particular shows her compassion for victims and her relentless pursuit of justice. Using experience like this, Investigator Burkhart has been a mentor for young officers and investigators on this department. She is very effective at teaching of her skills and providing assistance anytime she is able to. For the listed reasons, I believe Investigator Burkhart is deserving of this recognition. Congratulations, Investigator Burkhart. The next two awards of excellence are awarded to Officers Cedric Danielson and Kevin Hernandez. I invite both of you to come forward. Law enforcement nationwide and in the Cedar Valley had quite a year in 2020. Our profession has faced increased scorn and ridicule. During this time, Officers Cedric Danielson and Kevin Hernandez received a more focused attack than the rest of our patrol shift. On multiple occasions, whether it was on College Hill during civil disturbances or on individual calls for service, Officers Danielson and Hernandez became the focal point for personal attacks and character assassinations. These statements were not merely made in passing and were lodged at these officers during intense moments of dynamic and stressful situations. During these intense moments, it is the way in which these officers responded that makes them exceptional. The way in which these officers handled themselves in the face of scorn and disrespect is commendable and is a lesson we could all learn from. They have stood strong, served the citizens of Cedar Falls with pride and distinction, and personified the professionalism which we should all strive to achieve. Congratulations, Officer Danielson and Officer Hernandez. Next, we would like to recognize firefighter Scott Dugan with an award of excellence for his work in 2020. Firefighter Dugan can be counted on to perform well and think clearly in high-pressure situations. He has actively sought to better himself by increasing his knowledge base, and in doing so has greatly benefited the department as a whole. In 2020, Firefighter Dugan has completed certifications for Firefighter 2, EMT, Driver Operator, and a bulk of Instructor 1. Not only does Firefighter Dugan look to increase his knowledge and experience base to best benefit the department and city as a whole, he also takes an active role in training others and supporting all shift activities. He has been involved in our community outreach and fire prevention programs. Firefighter Dugan further exemplifies the city's goal of exemplary customer service in the calm, professional demeanor that he treats all citizens of Cedar Falls with. He brings an attitude to work that creates a positive environment and is well respected by his peers and supervisors alike. Firefighter Dugan's performance is in keeping with the utmost public service values, reflecting great credit upon himself, the City of Cedar Falls, and the Cedar Falls Public Safety Department. Congratulations, Firefighter Dugan. Our next award of excellence is presented to Officer Caleb Bruggeman. Please come forward. Officer Bruggeman comes to work every day with a positive attitude. He rarely has any downtime and keeps busy during his entire shift. He routinely handles calls in other areas for his peers and is also proactive. Officer Bruggeman does an excellent job of being proactive. He enjoys self-initiated activity such as OWI stops and working to build investigative contacts. He has attended and actively seeks out training that will help him to improve on these traffic contacts and using those contacts to further investigations. Officer Bruggeman enjoys learning new things and works diligently to investigate each case to conclusion. He has worked on search warrants with the Drug Task Force and with SWAT. Officer Bruggeman has a very patient, calm demeanor when dealing with citizens. He should be commended for his willingness to help others and for his outstanding work ethic while keeping the citizens of Cedar Falls safe. Congratulations, Officer Bruggeman. Our next cause for celebration is the recognition of public safety members for reaching milestones of service to the City of Cedar Falls. As I announce your names, please stand and remain standing. First, we want to recognize Director Jeff Olson, who has served for 35 years. Chief Craig Birdie and Captain Jeff Herenstein, who were hired on the same day in 1991 and have served for 30 years. Next, Captain Jeff Sitzman, who has served for 25 years. Lieutenant Brooke Hewer, who has served for 20 years. Lieutenant Martin Beckner, who has served for 20 years. Lieutenant Mike Hazlett, who has served for 20 years. Fire Captain Brad Sherwood, who has served for 20 years. And myself for 20 years. Please join me in congratulating these employees. So along with our newly sworn officers, we celebrate officers who have completed their academy training programs. I would like to invite forward Public Safety Officers Maxton Ross, Caitlin Ryan, John Kramer, and Troy Purdy. In addition to these officers, we would like to acknowledge the graduation of Officers Christy Hansen and Derek Brown on May 21st from the Iowa Law Enforcement Academy, if you two could come forward as well. These officers did not get to have graduations due to COVID-19, so we'd like to recognize them, and I'm going to read a biography of each. Maxton Ross is from Council Bluffs and graduated from Loras College with majors in criminal justice, Spanish, and politics. While there, he ran cross country and track. He was hired with the Cedar Falls Public Safety July 1st, 2020. He graduated from the Kirkwood Fire School in August of 2020 and from the Police Academy in October of 2020. While at the Academy, he won the Top Cadet Award as well as the Physical Fitness Award. He is currently assigned to the Fire Division. Caitlin Ryan is from Iowa City. She graduated in May 2020 from Wartburg College with degrees in psychology and sociology with an emphasis in criminal justice. She graduated from the Iowa Law Enforcement Academy in December of 2020. She is currently assigned to 3rd Shift Patrol. Troy Purdy has been employed in the Fire Division for 21 years. Over the last year, he has been working to complete his public safety training. He graduated from the Iowa Law Enforcement Academy in December of 2020 and will be assigned to the Fire Division. John Kramer is from Cedar Falls. He is a graduate of Hawkeye Community College. He is a Navy veteran and has been an EMT for 4 years. Officer Kramer graduated from the Iowa Law Enforcement Academy in April 2021. Officer Kramer is currently assigned to 2nd Shift Patrol. Derek Brown and Christy Hansen are both currently attending the Iowa Law Enforcement Academy at Hawkeye, and they are scheduled to graduate on May 21st. Derek is a new PSO for the City of Cedar Falls, but is not a new face. He has been employed by the Fire Division for 22 and a half years and has served as fire captain since 2004. In addition to being a firefighter, he is a certified paramedic. Derek received an associate's degree in police science from Hawkeye Community College in 1991. Derek was honored with the Sullivan Brothers Award in 2016 for saving the lives of a mother and her 2 children from a burning home. He is certified as a firefighter 1 and 2, driver operator, fire instructor 1, and a fire officer 1. Derek spends his free time with his wife, Carrie, and their 3 children, ages 15 to 23. They enjoy traveling and spending time at their camper in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. Derek also volunteers as a firefighter and paramedic for his hometown of Hudson, where he has served for 32 years. Christy Hansen is from New Hampton, Iowa. She graduated from Hawkeye Community College with a degree in police science and is working on a BA at UNI. In her free time, she likes to work out and spend time with family and friends and be on the lake. Because no graduation ceremony was held, we are honored to present your Academy certificates to you. Please join me in congratulating these officers. Congratulations. I now invite Mayor Robert Green to provide our ceremony's closing remarks.
Thank you to members of the Cedar Falls City Council, city staff, the officers of Cedar Falls Public Safety, and their families for attending this important ceremony today. I'd like to especially recognize special guest Mindy Benson, the new County Emergency Management Coordinator, who happens to be your new neighbor a few blocks away. I'm so glad you could attend this event held during the 59th Annual Police Week, which is established by President John F. Kennedy in 1962 to show community support and appreciation to our law enforcement community, and Peace Officer Memorial Day to remember our fallen officers, which will be held this year in downtown Waterloo on May 15th. Since the beginning of policing as a profession, law enforcement has become more scientific, more complex, more technical, and ever more demanding. Time not spent on patrol is spent training or in the mountain of paperwork that feeds the criminal justice system. The public doesn't see the pressures and demands of law enforcement. Those of us on the outside can only catch a glimpse of what life is like, and your great commitment to serve a public that doesn't always appreciate your presence. It's up to your elected leaders to share that message and to ensure that the public has the justified confidence that you'll be there when we need you, well-trained, properly equipped, and ready to serve. To that end, this year, the department laid out its 5-year strategic plan for the police and fire divisions with specific and timely goals for excellent service. They include strategies for officer wellness, connecting with the community, and fostering a culture of mutual support and professional excellence. I'm confident that you have the talent, the tools, and the drive needed to meet these 5-year goals, which will in turn ensure the success of the public safety model that's been implemented over these past several years. Competent and committed public safety professionals are needed now more than ever, as we know full well with the coronavirus pandemic, increasingly severe weather, and non-traditional threats and crimes like ransomware attacks and partisan extremism. These many challenges will require your best thinking and initiative, as well as the wide range of perspectives and experiences that together you provide. Trust each other, respond to calls quickly and effectively, and know that you have your community's support and respect. Thank you for holding the shield for us. Thank you to your families for your unceasing support, and may God protect and strengthen you each and every day. Thank you.
On behalf of the City of Cedar Falls and the Department of Public Safety, thank you for joining us for this recognition ceremony today. Thank you.